Okay, let's do a quick test here. Audio testing. Yeah, we're on the air. Good deal. All right, just waiting to see if anybody comes popping in here. Um, Good evening, everybody. I'm gonna come on here because of a person that calls himself Tentley Leaf. Tently Leaf. I don't know what the hell that means, but that's the person's name. Now, Tentley seems to have a burr up the proverbial ass, and I got a series of messages tonight about this piece of work, and this is one of them. Whoop, that's not one of them. I'm gonna go down. Whoop, 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 to here. And this individual does not seem to want me to live stream about Timothy and Timothy Charles Homseth and all the lies that Timothy tells on his various. Excuse the snipping, I'm still got a bit of a sinus infection. And so I thought I'd come in here and talk about Timothy Charles Homseth. Now, let me read this thing. It says, if you do not heed my warning, a swarm of PPTF followers will make sure you are under duress until our demands are met. Oh, you mean I haven't been under duress already? You will pay dearly for the lies and bullying of Homseth. You inserted your fuck ass into his life, and you will pay dearly for that if you continue to do video after video with baseless accusations and false narratives. Think long and hard before you go live again. The swarm is watching, and the swarm is ready for your fuck ass. And this follows us. This has been going on for um, since 3 o'clock this afternoon. I've got a whole string of these things. And it started out, the first message started out, this is your final warning to stand down, Whitey. Remember, you know who Whitey is. You have been accessing and stalking Timothy and Randy since 2019. You have done countless videos about them for 4 years. You have the audacity to claim you are the victim of them when the evidence clearly shows the contrary. You made up lies, spread false narratives that Homseth has been stalking you for since 2006. That, by the way, is not quite accurate. During the Trenton Duckett case, that is an absolute lie. Homseth did not start online reporting until 2009. And that is when Cobra Stobbs asked him to report on the disappearance of Haley Cummings. In 2009, Homseth did not know who you were either. It wasn't until you tried to insert yourself into his custody battle and report on his children that he even became aware of you, Whitey. And then later on, the warning came. Now, you know, the problem is here, I don't think that Tentley Leaf understands that by calling me Whitey, she is doing exactly what she is accusing me of doing to Homseth. these people have been carping about this Whitey thing for quite some time. And the Whitey we are speaking about is Whitey Bulger. Now, Whitey Bulger is a long dead gangster who murdered 26 people as part of his job. He was a gangster, he was in the mob, blah, 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 blah. And yet, this person who thinks I'm Whitey wants to piss me off. If you stop and think about this, it's kind of dumb. But, these people are not known for their brains. But for some strange reason, she came in here and decided that she is going to intimidate me. Now, she came on at 4 o'clock, said, "Shut up, fuck ass." Then she came on again at 6:20 this evening, said, "Find another topic besides my Timmy for your fuck ass show tonight, Whitey." Now, the she mentions my Timmy. Now, is this possibly the woman that goes around having phone sex, kissing pictures of Timmy, licking Timmy's phone? Hard to say, but Timmy is her guy, and she is obsessed with this me being Whitey Bulger shit. So you never know. And then she right. I told her, "Yep, you will be famous in 1/2 hour." I told her this a half hour ago, at 8:37 to be precise. By the time I got it up, and she said, "That is a bad decision on your part, Whitey. If your fuck ass is going to report anything, report the goddamn truth." And she gets back to Cobra Stobbs. Now, Cobra Stobbs was a bounty hunter slash private detective that was associated with um, Kim Picasio for a while. And they parted ways because of reasons I'm not going to delve into right now. It wasn't really anything that big of a deal. But nobody had ever heard of Tim Holmseth until he contacted Kim Picasio through Cobra Stobbs. Now, Cobra Stobbs, for some reason, interacted with Tim Holmseth and just made a bad situation worse. But in the end, when Kim Picasio told Tim Holmseth to go fly a kite, he went ahead and pestered Kim to the point where she had to get the famous restraining order that got Tim Holmseth arrested and is the cause of Tim Holmseth being on the run today. And so we get this strange situation where this individual who has created a ton of these fake accounts, and she's typing again. So we're going to find out what Tawny Leaf has to say. And she makes these threats over and over and over again. And this has been going on for quite a long time. Now, this is how these people go after children, try to save children. Um, the reason Cobra parted ways with Kim Picasio is because Cobra exposed the affair between Kim and Jeremiah. Cobra is the one that told Timmy and sent Timmy the secret recordings. Cobra did where Cobra caught Kim and Jeremiah talking about their affair. Report that, you fuck ass. Well, I just did. And she is now accusing Cobra of breaking the law. This is known as wiretapping. In the state of Florida, it is against the law to make secret recordings of anyone for any reason. Cobra did not have permission to record. Kim Pacazio did not have permission to record Jeremiah or anyone. That is a felony in the state of Florida. You know, I am surprised Cobra Stubbs is not in prison for that. But this, again, explains everything, because when I was shown the paperwork involving all this is when I started being attacked. And this attack continues to this day. So this Tentley Leaf person is making a big deal of a long past affair. This is supposed to have happened in 2009. This is 2023. We are well into 2023 because Haley Cummings vanished in February of 2009, 14 years ago, and this idiot is talking about an affair. You know, how many people in this country have had affairs? I mean, there are at least a half dozen soap operas on daily television on the main networks that talk about affairs. General Hospital, one, Young and Restless, you name it. At some point, they talk about affairs. People have affairs. And this is third party harassment on the part of Tim Holmseth. And this could get Tim Holmseth arrested again, because if he is knowledgeable that this individual is sending this information out and he doesn't put a stop to it, then this is third party harassment, and Kim could get Tim arrested, and this time get Tim arrested on a felony. So Tentley just may be helping Kim Pacazio have the power to get Tim Holmseth arrested for third party harassment. And if I am Whitey Bulger, who Tim declares has connections with the FBI, then I would have the resources to find out who this person is and have her brought before a grand jury to see if Tentley could be charged with a felony. You know, Tim Holmseth wants people to believe that I am Whitey Bulger. And Tim Holmseth makes a big deal out of saying that the Whitey Bulger person has strong associations with the FBI. And if this is the case, then Whitey Bulger could go to the FBI and say, hey, we got this Tentley Leaf person doing third party harassment on behalf of Timothy Charles Holmseth. We need to find out who this person is and bring this person into the FBI and interrogate her. Okay, here we go with this. Fact: you post photographs of Timothy's son, and you spoke on your live show about Timmy's days as a drunk, but you never mentioned how Levi Page, one of your best friends, is also a sloppy drunk. Mary Lee and Astro found the photos on Facebook. You ignore that. Now, this is a well-known fact among everybody. Now, first of all, my source information about Tim Holmseth being drunk came from here. In his own words, Tim Holmseth stated on this portion of his book that he got so drunk that he nearly died. And alcohol may not have been his only problem because the charges out of Minnesota go into this. And then we have a picture of somebody in plaid underwear. Um, you know, this is what we have to put up with as a group. Now, the PPTF is supposed to be for bringing justice to child traffickers, pedophiles, child abusers of all kinds. I don't see how smearing the name of a complete stranger whose only sin is being a friend of Kim Picasso is going to solve any of that. This is a personal smear campaign. It is menacing by stalking, and it just shows the lack of morality and character on the part of Tim Holmseth. And Tim Holmseth said that the picture of his son is something that everybody does, that everybody dresses their son up to look like a little girl and against his will and splatters it all over the internet. And you know, they say they're finding this stuff about Levi Page on Facebook. That is stalking. You know, to go in, find these kind of personal pictures and splatter them all over the internet, that is stalking. Now, in Holmes's case, he put that out there. He's a he's a public figure. He's famous. And considering what Tim Holmseth is supposed to be doing, it rather disconcerting that they want this stuff out there. And yeah, they're probably going to get another lawsuit, and this person is going to be brought in as a witness for the defense or for us as the person who uh, witnessed this activity by Tim Holmseth. Uh, and first of all, I never knew it was against the law to run around in your underwear in a private Facebook page. The pictures were not published by Levi Page, most of them anyway. They were published by a third party. And this could be considered revenge porn under the laws in certain states, including Tennessee. And this is third party harassment of Tim Holmseth. Now, I'm sure if somebody had pictures of Tim Holmseth in his underwear and posted it on the internet, even if it was from a public Facebook page, he wouldn't be happy about it. And in the picture of his son, Tim Holmseth is not wearing any pants. The pants are on the floor. Yeah, and so this turd is posting messages to me about underwear. And this turd has been doing this for years. I have over 200 screen captures of this person complaining about Levi Page and his underwear. Now, what is this thing with underwear? I don't get it. Do I think it's normal? I don't think it's anybody's damn business. People do run around in their underwear. This was in a private residence. And, I would be asking questions of someone who dresses their child up to look like a little girl and have his daughter distribute it all over the internet. You know, Timmy can't do anything wrong with this person. You know, he's done some horrible things here in the last few weeks. And you know, he posted the famous this person keeps posting stuff about underwear. And this is all this person on this Telegram account has been obsessed with Levi Page since 2009, and she cannot deny that because I have posts going back that far. You know, this person has contacted me in one way or another since 2009. And, you know, and this is the kind of people that attract Tim Homeseth. These are the kind of people that associate with Tim Homeseth. They don't give a tinker's damn about missing children. They don't give a damn about child trafficking. They don't give a damn about sex trafficking. All they care about is somebody wearing underwear in 2000, 14 plus years ago. And then they go around accusing me and others of murder of children, child trafficking, being the spokesperson for a trafficking ring, working with the FBI to assassinate this idiot. Um, this was posted in your chat room by Kim Picazio in 2021. So what? We all know about that message. People saw it. She was being sarcastic because you were posting pictures of someone in their underwear as in 2021. You just confessed to it. You know, this, you keep putting your foot in your mouth. And the tidy whitey picture went up. You see, now this person is, going to keep doing this. She is putting up pictures of someone in their underwear. And been doing this for years and well beyond 2021. And this kind of harassment is illegal. Yeah, they're jealous of Levi. This obsession with Levi is right here. And she says, "Why is a grown man wearing tidy whities? What a fucking joke." Are you kidding me? I mean, is there a regulation that says that a person cannot wear white underwear? That, this is how petty this is. That this person is obsessing over the fact that somebody is wearing a pair of white briefs. I wear white briefs, for crying out loud. I wear all kinds of underwear. Why do we even wear underwear? Um, but you got people that wear boxers, you got people that wear briefs. So what? What is the obsession with this Timmy devotee with underwear? I mean, I could go on the internet and find men wearing white underwear. I mean, have you ever seen a Sears catalog? I mean, some of you people are not old enough to remember a Sears, you know, Sears underwear, Sears Roebuck catalog, but they used to wear underwear as models. They do it to this day. And I figure, what the hell? Let me bring this up. Yeah, since this nitwit is obsessed with men's underwear, okay. Since she likes tidy whities, we get the circle here. Loading, loading, loading. Okay, there, Tentley Leaf. You like uh, men's underwear? Here you go. Knock yourself out. Now, this is one of. Let me look here. I never knew there are so many pictures of men in there. Oh, Jeremiah turned 40. Okay, that's good. And this is the first of 12,000 pages of men in white underwear. They even got men in the thong style tidy whitey underwear. So, but, well, you wanted it. You're obsessed over men's underwear, Tawdry. There you go. This is all you care about is white underwear. So there you are. Knock yourself out. Download it and have it printed out in a mural and put it on your wall, and you can stare at white underwear all day long. Yeah, Sears, J.C. Penney's. Oh, you can go. Walmart sells white underwear. I usually get all my. If I don't get it on Amazon, I get my underwear down at Walmart. I'm on a budget here, so yeah, Well, what's interesting about all this is Timmy did not have custody of his son. He only had visitation. And until he was an adult, he could only see Timmy with the mother there, the unwed mother, by the way. Um, Timmy had, as far as anybody knows, three children. One child he gave up without any fight at all, which is his oldest daughter. And he has the two that are left. Um, and I believe both are now adults or close. The son is the younger of the two, and he may have a year or so to go, but they should be both adults by now. And so, but this is what prioritizes people over there is men in their underwear. This woman or whatever the hell it is seems to be the clothes police. I was criticized for years, and I still am, because I actually went on the air and um, accidentally for about 10 seconds with no shirt on. And that is the biggest scandal that ever hit the teleturds. Oh, this just came from Tim Homeseth. William Kevin Murtaugh is presently live on his YouTube channel showing messages he claims he received. He is attempting to make it look like I am connected to the messages. I have nothing to do with any messages sent to Murtaugh. And in fact, it's a 99% chance he sent them to himself or one of his agents sent them to him as part of a plan. Now, what do you think about that, Tentley Leaf? Tim Holmseth himself says you are a fraud. Tim Holmseth disavowed you. How do you like that? You know, Tim Holmseth, and let me do this just so people understand what's going on here. But this is purported to be from Tim Holmseth. Uh, it's not focusing properly, but I'll capture it. But Tim Holmseth is disowning this Tentley Leaf over on uh, Telegram. So let me see if this does a little bit better. But anyway, Tim Holseth is disowning whoever this person is, this Tentley Leaf, this individual with 30, 40, 50 different usernames. And so the smear campaign she's doing against me, Tim Holmseth disavows it. He says it's fake. Not sure why she's got a picture of Jeremiah in surgery, but that's where we're at here. But you see, this person um, says that the PPTF is going to come after me and everything, and the head of the PPTF, the spokesperson for the PPTF, says the person is fake because Tim Holmseth knows that having this kind of message up doesn't help him out. And so Tim Holmes is saying this is all a fraud. Tim Holmseth disowned this person. And Tentley, it's right here on Telegram if you want to go and read it. I mean, your big hero is how many GoFundMe has Jeremiah made in the last few years? I don't know. Can't be more than Tim Holmseth. She's attacking Jeremiah Reagan. I don't know why. But, this is why Tim Holmseth disowns this person. And saying that this person is a fake, this person is fraud. So this person is humiliating themselves. And this is legitimate, he apparently needs surgery for something, and that's a legitimate thing. He's not asking for a $40,000 car. I mean, you might as well give it up, Tentley. Your hero, your idol has thrown you out, does not support you. So you're going on this big campaign against Kim and Levi, and Tim Holmseth is disavowing you. He does not support you. When are you going to get that through that thick head of yours that Tim Holmseth doesn't give a tinker's damn about you and all the usernames that you have used in the past decade to attack other people. He, you know, what does it matter what Jeremiah Reagan is doing and what he looks like? I mean, the guy has a life of his own. He doesn't pay any attention to this bullshit. So you're obsessing over somebody that doesn't even know what's going on. And, you're not, even Tim Homestead doesn't believe you're real. So you go through all of this. Who wrote the statement? Tim Homestead wrote it. And this Tentley Leaf, Tim Homestead is saying it's a fraud. And Tim Homestead is actually stating that me or one of my followers created the Tentley Leaf account to make Tim Homestead look bad. And so this person is basically beating themselves against the wall, beating a dead horse. Nobody believes this person is even real. Yes, sir. And this has been, I've been on the air about a half an hour. But this is why I came on, because I wanted people to know what kind of person is talking about Levi Page and so on and so forth. Well, John, what we have is we have a person by the name of Tentley Leaf who contacted me about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and left this message and, made this threat and everything. And then, over on the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force Telegram page, when I went on the air, they're saying that this is fake. This is not Tim Homestead. It's nobody Tim knows. They're claiming that I made it all up. Oh, thank you. And just for the hell of it, this is going to save me a little bit of time. But this, this person thought they were going to be smart and that they were going to. Matter of fact, let me look at something. I think she just deleted the account. Nope, still there. I don't know. For some reason, my phone turned off. My second phone, I should say. Let's see. Nope. Oh, here we go. But I love these people. They keep giving me material to use. I'm out of the chat at the moment because I want to process this and get it into the room, and it takes a little bit. I also want to show you something interesting on here when we get this up. I just. Now this is a big supporter of Tim Homestead, putting up pictures of Jeremiah Reagan right now. And look at what Tim Homestead says about her. Well, the thing of it is Tim Homestead is denying that this person is even real. I don't know. Jeremiah looks pretty good in this last one. No, I'm not allergic to bees. I don't like being stung by them, but you know, it's the little busy bees from over at the PPTI that are supposed to come over and, make my life miserable like they've been doing for the past 14 years. I mean, and this Tentley Leaf is actually watching my live stream because they make comments based on what they see in the stream. So read it and weep. It's a threat of some kind. It's a threat of third party harassment again. And this person must think that um, Tim Homestead supports this stuff. He doesn't, because I know this makes him look bad. He doesn't want people doing this sort of things. Uh, but, she does it. It makes Tim Homestead look bad. And so she's doing our work for us. And all these things that she creates gets recorded and sent to the appropriate individual. Yeah. You see, this intense harassment has picked up since I started covering the Neely Blanchard case. And I put all the stuff up on the internet about Neely Blanchard, the evidence that I'm getting through the state attorney's office. They have tried to disavow anything on there, saying it's all fake stuff, it's spliced together. They claim that Neely Blanchard was framed, that he claims that I went to Phil McConnell's house, took a gun at Phil McConnell's house, got it through Homeland Security at 3 airports, came back to Florida, waited 2.5 months, go over there to Chris Hallett's house and shot him. And then magically the gun wound up in Neely Blanchard's car when it was seized by Georgia authorities when she was detained in Lowndes County, Georgia. That's quite a feat, but I'm supposed to be working with the FBI because I wear an FBI shirt, and it's crazy. And these dingbats over on Telegram actually believe this shit. It's funny as hell. And then I'm also accused of being Whitey Bulger, which is this guy. And he had the unfortunate problem that somebody whacked him over the head with a sock that had a padlock in it. The very day he was transferred to a federal prison, somebody whacked him. And the guys were arrested. They were part of the mob. They were in forces who happened to be in jail. And, so Mr. Whitey Bulger is deader than a doornail pushing Daisy somewhere. And these turds over on Telegram are saying that I'm Whitey Bulger. That's the kind of brain dead people that are over there. Oh, she changed her name. Now she's Silent Beef. That's weird that she does that. She went from being Tawdry Leaf to Silent Beef. Tawdry she must have changed her name because Tawdry disappeared. This is weird, man. So let me go back. Let me go to Telegram. And she changed it again. She's now Audrey Clemens. I mean, this thing is a chameleon. She keeps changing her damn name on the same account. Well, that was when he was young. This was actually way, 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 way back. Because the last picture that there is a Whitey Bulger. He looks like Santa Claus with a short beard. Um, but the guy was, well. The thing of it is they've disavowed this particular account. Um, all right, let me get rid of this thing. But this is weird. She keeps changing her name. Why is she doing this? Now she's gone to Azalea Flower. How in hell are these people changing their names so fast on Telegram? Never seen anything like this. Jeremiah has lost his looks at this desk. He turned 40 and all his boyish looks. Well, Jeremiah's married to another woman, so I think the other woman doesn't seem to mind what he looks like. But what is this obsession? Yeah, it's, well, no, they don't. And this is funny. Now, if you look at the top left-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see that there's 16 people watching this channel. 16. Not 1,600, not 16,000, 16. What is the threat here? This is this is what boggles the mind. Is this is such a small channel that they are actually helping the channel get more attention by pulling these stunts than if they um, ignore the channel. Now it's acidic rain and more underwear pictures. Why do you keep changing your name? I don't get it. I just, this is the first time this person has done this. She's gone through 5 different names now, and she keeps changing her name. Yeah, well, that seems to be it because Lynn Wood disavowed Tim Holmsath. General Flynn disavowed. John, there is a Telegram account that's direct messaging me, and the person keeps changing their names. Now they're Rose Petals, and I can't put the pictures, I can't bring the account into the room because she's posting personal photographs of people, and it's an invasion of privacy. She's apparently scouring Jeremiah's uh, social media pages. There's Jeremiah in a hospital bed. There's Jeremiah uh, face, and now it's somebody in their underwear laying face down, black underwear this time. Has this thing for underwear, but and she keeps changing her name. How does someone change that? Jeremiah is someone that knew Kim Picasio back in 2009. They actually had a brief affair, and it's well known. Kim has talked about it. It's just one of those things that happens. But he hasn't seen Kim in years. He's married another woman, and you know he's living his life. And this idiot going by change the name again to Flowery Rain is stalking his social media. Why, I don't know. And now we got Mert supports adultery. Well, let's see. There is a man out there by the name of Donald J. Trump. And so if people support Donald J. Trump, they support adultery. And all the pictures vanished. Whew, poof. That's how I know it's the same person because they delete everything the minute they put it up. The only problem is it gets recorded. None of this stuff goes away. So you're doing all this, but Tim Holmseth disowns this person. But I'm going to try something now that we've done this. Oh, here we go with the underwear again. Do you want me to post the 2012 post on Facebook? I have the screenshot. Well, if you want to get yourself in legal hot water, that's you. You know, it would be wise if you left people alone. But no, you've been doing this for 14 years. Uh, so uh, let's see, 2014. Let me check something since we're going back to 2014. Um, okay, this Ronald Erickson. I wonder who Ronald is. Um, Hoss Ulysses. Oh, I didn't notice that. This book was written in 2010. And so if we go to now, he said, how my body got to the phone in the other room is a mystery, and the ambulance ride is a vague memory. I arrived at what the locals call the third floor. It's the Nut Ward Detox Center of the Northwest Medical Center in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. That's how drunk Tim Holmseth was. According to this book, he was so drunk that he had to take an ambulance ride to a nut ward in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. And that's where his criminal record's at, in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Yeah, this is Tim's book. I got 2 copies of it. And he admits in the book to being so damn drunk that he nearly died. And this Mystic Sense, she's changed her name again. You know, what I don't understand is what's with all the name changes on Telegram. This is the first time I've seen this, where this person keeps cycling all these different names, and craziness. But right now, there's nothing in the room. Um, what happened now? Hmm. Uh, the book is out of print, but if you look on there's various archives all over the internet where people have put up the entire book. Um, it's the book is a hodgepodge. everything that Timmy has written in this book has been gone is online. So you don't even have to spend a dime. You can just go online, and every page of the book is up there in one way or another over on his blog and on his, mainly on the blog, on both blogs. There's a blog within a blog. Um, Mystic Scent is the latest name. Hasn't posted anything so far, so uh, I think this person may have run out of steam. But yeah, it's funny. Mystic Scent. I want to try something. I'll do it in this one for some reason. There you go, Mystic. Read it and weep. You can't get it on Kindle. Amazon took it down. There was a court order. The book had to be removed because he sold it primarily through Amazon, and they took it down. You never know. You might be able to find it and do a Google search because but it's in reference NRE colon Haley Cummings, The Shocking Truth Revealed by Timothy Charles Homestead. So if you do a search that way, you could find the book. But it okay, we're gonna do it this way. Yep, she's gone. She gave up. Oh, that was a chameleon woman up in there. I guess you didn't like that message very much, did you? Huh? This one? Yeah, you didn't like that. You took your oh, that's the wrong message. This message. You took your account down the minute I sent that to you. You don't like that, do you? That's who you support. That's who you started out making these threats against me. Is this little guy? He's really grateful to you. I don't know where in the hell. I don't know where the hell the screenshot went, but hell with it. But this is, yeah, she's gone. Deleted account. Um, doo, 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 doo. I sent this to her over on her Telegram, and that's what happened. Bye, 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 bye. Does this every time. But, Timmy threw her under the bus. He's over here trying to get me to say good things about Timmy and leave Timmy alone. Timmy says, screw it. I have no idea who you are. You know, talk about gratitude. And the thing that amazes me about this individual changed their name a dozen times in the short period of time that she was on Telegram. And I never knew somebody could do something that fast. That they could change their name so quickly. Oh, I knew they were going to do this. This is funny. They said, did Whitey Bulger just come out of hiding? I knew they were going to do that. These people are so predictable. And so they put up all the Whitey Bulger stuff again. These people are so colossally dumb. And to they want people to believe that they are legitimate, that they are for missing children, and then they post that kind of stupidity. But hell, knock yourself out. If you want to continue to post this stuff about Whitey Bulger, you're doing our work for us. You are. Sheila, I had an account come in, and this person put up at least a dozen pictures of, quote, someone in their underwear. And this person has been doing this for over a decade. And um, basically had sent this threat to me saying that if I did not stop talking about Timothy Charles Holmseth, that the swarm of bees over on PPTF were going to go after me. But unfortunately for this person, Tim Holmseth posted this, basically disavowing the person. The person went on for a while, putting up more pictures of underwear and a guy who has been off the internet for years, and she deleted her account. It's supposed to be Levi Page, um, and she has attacked Levi Page since 2009, and yeah, it's an obsession that this individual has had all these years. I don't know if there is a love affair going on between her and Timmy. Why is she concerned with his underwear? Good question. She feels that she can come, that she wants to humiliate him. Uh, the pictures came off of various social media accounts, primarily Facebook. Apparently, way back when he was in college, uh, as all guys do in college, they have parties and stuff, and they were in a room, and a bunch of them were in the room with just their underwear on, and for whatever reason, he he was laying on the couch, passed out. I don't know, and they took pictures of him. And so this individual scours all these social media accounts to find all these pictures, and then she sends them to me in direct message. And at one time, she posted them over on Telegram in the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force thing over there, but they got deleted. But she has an intense blind hatred for Levi Page. It's just It's a Neely Blanchard kind of hatred for Levi Page. And, so you have to be concerned about who this individual is and what they might do. Her issue with Levi Page is that he is friends of Kim Picasio, and he defended Kim Picasio from Tim Holmseth. And that's it. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. And she has punished or tried to punish Levi Page for being a friend of Kim Picasio. That's all it is. It's the sole reason. There is no legitimate reason other than she is a friend. He is a friend of Kim Picasio and an enemy of Tim Holmseth. And this is what happens when you're an enemy of Tim Holmseth. You get accused of stupid things. Right now, they put at least a dozen pictures of me being Whitey Bulger again. They are obsessed with this Whitey Bulger thing because that's all they have. The PPTF is not a legitimate organization. It's a bunch of magpies that go around smearing and bullying people. That's all it is. No, I don't. I think he's gotten busy with, where he's working and stuff. Uh, but he, um, he comes in from time to time, and he's living his life. Um, I came into Tim Holmseth's life way back in 2009. Um, this had to do. Um, I had started. There was a person by the name of Radio. He used to have Radio News, which was a forum, and she got on Holmes's case because he was obsessed with Haley Cummings. He was also um, trying to get in on the case. And Timmy got mad because they wanted nothing to do with him. They said, "You do your own thing, we'll do ours. We don't need your help." And so he retaliated, started going after Kim Picasio to the point where Kim Picasio got a restraining order against him. And Levi Page came in and defended um, Kim Picasio. And I came in wanting to find out what in hell was going on. It's back in 2009. And come to find out that Tim Holseth had done this stuff. And when I found out, he, I started saying that, Tim Holseth really needs to go away and mind his own business. And he started coming after me. And so since 2009, he has been coming after me. Um, Now, this person over on Telegram falsely claims that it didn't start up in 2015, which would have been 8 years. But he started in on me basically from the minute I befriended Kim, or at least supported Kim, because her and I were having a back and forth back then because of radio. And so, that's basically it without rehashing this whole thing all over again. That because I became friends with Kim Picasio, Tim got mad at me, and this is where we're at. And this individual is so attached to Tim Holmseth that she pulls these kind of stunts. And tonight was that. Now, let me. Now, Tim Holmseth has filed several lawsuits against Levi, Kim, me, and others. Uh, the one lawsuit was thrown out, and the lawsuit in Eastern Tennessee is destined to be thrown out. Uh, Levi Page is not letting Tim Holmseth run his life. He is doing things on his own. Why he has decided not to go back on the air, I don't know. It could be something as simple as he does not have the time, and he's got better things to do than deal with this idiot. Um, and so, me and my tiny little channel basically is telling the truth about Tim Holmseth. Well, Tim Holmseth or Craig Sawyer won a half a million, won a multi-million-dollar uh, lawsuit against Tim Holmseth and against Randy Erickson. He sued the both of them, and right now, um, that's where we're at. Now, I don't know anything about his Twitter account. He may have just decided, screw it, it's not worth his time. These questions you would have to ask Levi because I'm not a spokesman for him. And, you know, he probably just said, screw it, this all isn't worth it. I'm going to go where the grown ups are and let the little kids play their little kid games. But, he's collecting evidence, and one of these days he could trigger a lawsuit of his own. But whatever Levi did, that's Levi's business. It's not my business. Well, a lot of people are leaving Twitter because it's turned into a hot mess since Elon Musk bought it. Elon has ruined Twitter, and a lot of people are leaving it. I don't know what's going to be the future of that uh, website. Well, again, Sheila, you'd have to ask Levi that. He probably just figured, screw it, I'm done with social media. Um, I'm out here with the grown-ups. I want nothing to do with this stuff anymore. Um, Twitter, Twitter is just plain weird anymore. It's turned into another right wing uh, place there, and that's. Oh, I made BitChute, guys. Oh, here we go. I love it. These people are so predictable. Where do you see this? These people are so. I'm getting hoarse now. Yeah, well, all social media is anymore. It's getting bad. I don't know if she works or not. She's supposed to be a real estate broker, but she spends all her time with this conspiracy crap. You know, I did this on purpose. I put that picture up on purpose, and look what happened. They're even I fucking my. This came off my Twitter account, and so they're I fucking my Twitter account. Yeah, she went And this is where she got herself in a situation where it could cost her. She went to a relative of Levi Page's, told the woman that Levi Page was a child trafficker. Now, this is, this is a good way to get yourself in trouble. Uh, and that's. But let's see. Did Whitey Bulger, and then he's put up on their thing. He's put up picture of me, the drawings they did of Whitey Bulger, and it's a 12-second video, and you know Whitey Bulger, Mert, Biden crime family. So this is number one. This is all political, but this is how fast they do things. As this went up, uh, this BitChute went up rather fast. Trying to see if I can find a timestamp for it. But this is how obsessed these people are. They watch my live stream. They go into my Twitter account, and it's probably Jessie because I fucks the hell out of my Twitter account. But they go into my Twitter account and they find stuff like this. And Tim Holmset just got through saying that the person I was referring to was a fraud. That's the reason I put that picture up there. But it's amazingly stupid. But I think it's funny as hell. Because all Tim is doing and his controllers is doing is show that they are not out for anything legitimate. All they are out for is personal attacks. The PPTF is a fraud. Period. Yeah, she really did that. She went to his aunt and he contacted the aunt, showed her a picture of Randy Erickson, and Randy Erickson was identified. And the problem for Randy Erickson is she does all these lawsuits that she talks about. This is going to come in as evidence. They'll bring the aunt in as evidence. Oh, you know that's that's quite possible, John, because this happened fast. I mean, it's a Polaroid moment here. That they go over there and they'll post stuff on they'll post on Telegram first because it's all over. Um, it's all over Telegram, and then they'll repeat it on BitChute. And I wanted to see how long it would take them to get it from Twitter to BitChute, and it didn't take long at all. Um, so it's these people just keep digging their own hole. But they went to my Twitter account, uh, and they're I fucking my Twitter account. But there's there. Let me. Hey, see, they put all this up on their Telegram. Bunches of it here. Let me see if I can look at all this. That's all I talk about out of there is me. Yeah, that's they just I put a picture up that I got on the internet, and I got off the internet, popped it up there. And they say, "Oh, Whitey Bulger's having a coming out party." That's absolutely stupid bunch of pictures, people. And this picture was, according to the information, was taken in the 50s. I mean, the guy's 20 years old and was 20 years older than I was. But but my point was that if I was Whitey Bulger, considering the history of Whitey Bulger, these people are playing with fire. Now, I know Timmy Holmsath once admitted to being uh, a firebug. It's in his book. But this is how crazy these people are. You know, I I don't get the obsession, except for they have absolutely nothing. The PPTF is a disaster. Uh, they've managed to throw every single ally they had under the bus. Even Field McConnell is done with them. And that was just came out. Paula did a recording with him this weekend, and Field McConnell's health is improving, and he basically said that Timmy is a fraud, that they deceived him, that they made his life miserable, and eventually, once his health gets up, he's going to go on the air, and it is going to be an unmitigated disaster. Um, Now, it is possible that none of these things you see, even this thing here, is Tim Holmseth. It could be somebody ghostwriting his material because of how fast this stuff gets put up. Because this was put up almost immediately after I went on the air. But they want to disown whoever this individual is that keeps coming in with all these different names and posting this stuff. They do not want to be associated with it. They know the legal liability, and they had to get out in front of it. And that's what they did. But boy, that account is gone. But this is a legal protection. It's plausible deniability. He's saying, I don't know who this person is. I would be interested to see what he would do if he was put under oath. But yeah, he could say, I don't know who this is. This is somebody that doing this on their own. I had nothing to do with it. And so he can, so. All right, how do I get rid of this? All right. I guess that only shows up on my screen. Well, that's the thing, John, is what people don't realize is that the federal government can issue a subpoena to social media carriers for the login information on all their clients. And then they could find out in a heartbeat who this person is. The Tim Homeseth account and all these accounts. And all these people over on True Social, they think they're immune. They're not. If if the government wanted to find out who was on True Social, it wouldn't take long at all. Yeah, it has to be worth it to them. The person that is impersonating Tim Homeseth, um, or the person that came on Telegram tonight and threatened me again. You know, all of us. If the federal government wants to find out who we all are, even if we use these uh, sock accounts, they can find us. You can't hide from them. Um, there's a Netflix thing you may want to watch. This was about a guy that lived in Pensacola and he decided to make hoax telephone calls to fast food restaurants. And they found the guy rather quickly once they knew who they were looking, what they were looking for. So, yeah, these people are risking a lot um, by in conducting this, acting this way, and doing these things. Because eventually, if it ever rises to a point where it comes to the attention of the feds, that'll be the end of it. Right now, they're small potatoes, but it could get there. But this, yeah, it's kind of suspicious how quickly this got put up on BitChute. I mean, it's rather quick. And, there's a lot of things suspicious about all this. But they keep bringing the Whitey Bulger thing up. And it's discrediting them. They don't understand that people look at this and say, you're saying this guy's Whitey Bulger. Whitey Bulger's been dead for a long time. Um, and now, Sheila, the reason he hasn't been arrested by JSOC is they don't have the interest or the resources to do it. He is not an informant. He's nothing. He's a guy sleeping in his car or couch surfing with a bunch of brain dead females. Um, and he's being used as a puppet. Um, there are thousands of Tim Homeseths out there. I talk uh, to personnel at some of these bases tracking this down, and they said, we get so many of these. We've got filing cabinets full of crap from these people. So they're, you would not believe how much there is. They have a file on both of them with the Judge Advocate General. So if at any time this raises to a level that they need to do something about it, they will. Um, well, I'm beginning to question Megan Fox because if she thinks that Tim Homeseth is an informant, then that kills her credibility in my case. As far as I know, they still are, but it's hard to tell. But I think the extent of the relationship between Tim and Randy is a financial one. I think he is nothing more than a financial asset for her. It's a way for her to make some money, and that's all it is. Um, There's a 10-year age difference. She's 10 years older than Timmy. Uh, and it is said that Timmy is running around with someone a little bit younger than he is, or multiple women. But I don't know. It's soap opera-ish. I really don't care if they're together or not. Um, it would do a disservice to Randy's husband, who has got what is said to be a terminal illness. I think there was one time that Randy Erickson went into a Zoom conference under the name of Randy Holmseth, which is kind of weird. But you know, what can you do? No, I did not. Uh, and could he be an informant? That's possible because there's an accusation that um, he gave the names of 33 uh, people that were involved in the January 6th insurrection, that he had the complete names and addresses of all of these people, and that every one of them were convicted. Uh, and so, and he could be informing on the very people that are supporting him. Because if it, yeah, this was the underwear story. Uh, at one time, they were staying at a hotel, and for some reason, Randy thought that the underwear contained DNA of him possibly being with a child or something, that they were trying to plant evidence on him. So she threw out all the underwear, and it was in a sealed bag and the whole thing. That was the story. And that was quite a long time ago. I'd forgotten all about that. But this is kind of craziness that goes on with them. Tim Holmseth had two very good friends up in East Grand Forks that helped him out and risked their freedom uh, when he uh, didn't show up in court. And Randy Erickson convinced Timmy that they were informing on him, and one of them was a power of attorney for Timmy, and Timmy dismissed him as power of attorney and handed it over to Randy Erickson. And as far as I know, she is his power of attorney to this day. She is a trustee of the TimothyCharlesHolmeseth.com blog, which makes her legally liable for anything published in it. And Timothy Charles Homeseth, what his status is with that is either an employee or an associate. It's hard to tell what's going on with those two. Yeah, that was a story that they thought that somebody was planting DNA against Timmy on this underwear, so they threw out everything. It was a batch of underwear that they had bought in a Walmart. And the story was that somehow she got a bug up her ass that somebody had put DNA on there as planted evidence, so they threw all the underwear out. You know, craziness. And it was a sealed package. They hadn't even used the underwear yet. It was a sealed package. It was stupid. Uh, but it's at the same time, hi toot. Um, but yeah, nobody should trust and TH around children, or Randy for that matter. It's just my opinion. But um, there was one time that Tim Holmseth thought that that a cop that pulled him over because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt was going to plant evidence on him. There was another time where in his old car, the mirror was hanging down, and he said it was because the cops tried to plant evidence in the mirror of the car, which would have been a neat trick because there's not much room. There's no room behind that mirror for any of it. When he told me that story, I had one of those cars on my lot, the exact same make and year, uh, Ford. I went in, And number one, it's not easy to take that mirror off the roof of the car. And I really had to work at it. And there's no room up there. And that's the last place law enforcement would search for drugs because you can't put anything up there um, that would be of evidentiary value. The quantity would be so small. And yeah, it's just stupid, you know. But there's the mirror, there's the seatbelt, and there's the tire. He claimed that someone knifed his tire uh, in his apartment complex. 14 times. Well, I think there was like 5 or 6 holes in the tire, and I would like to know how the hell someone could put 5 holes in the sidewall of a car and not get crushed. So it's just it's mind-boggling what he's done. And this is a guy that says the former vice president of the United States tried to assassinate him. Yeah, they eventually removed all of his YouTubes and closed the account because of precisely this. He is very graphic about how he describes children. And he's done this for a long he's obsessed with this explicit description of children's sex organs. He did it with the Jan Benet Ramsey case. He did it with Haley Cummings, um, and um, other children. All right, Mark. Thanks for that, I guess. Yeah, he exploits children for his own purposes. And yeah, it's a and it's amazing that people put up with that. That he goes into such detail. And this picture that he accused Alexandra Goddard of sending to Randy Erickson, he went out of his way to imply that it was a child. The very specific description he made of that picture. And yet, if someone accuses him of having child pornography, he says, "Oh no, 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 no! I didn't say it was a child. I just said that it's small and stuff." He double speaks. Yeah, yeah. This is way back in the beginning that um, when I first heard of Tim Homseth, I defended his right to free speech. It was a fine line I was making here. I wasn't saying I agreed with him, but I had thought at the time that they were being too harsh on him. And it turned out to be wrong. But for a long time, until the truth came out, Kim Pacasio, me, Levi Page, Alexander Goddard, and some other people were at each other's throats because they thought that I supported Tim Homseth. They thought I was making all these sock accounts that were attacking him, the Mert Defender and some other accounts out there. And this all turned out to be a game that was being played by Radio, who is the owner of this forum. And once we found out what she was up to, we came together and said, well, if anything like this happens again, we will talk to each other to make sure that we're not being played again. And we've been friends ever since. But, yeah, we were, me and Kim really went at it for quite a while. Um, it was brutal. And this is one of the reasons this account attacks me, this person that put up the underwear pictures and stuff, is because I became friends with Kim Bacasio. That's the one thing that I agree with Megan Fox is that we see eye to eye on Tim Homestead. Um, yeah, this picture was supposed to have been found in his apartment on a flash card. That one of the people cleaning out the room at the apartment found this picture, and that's how it wound up on the internet. The problem is the picture had already been up there. The person who took the picture published it. And once Tim Holmseth found out about it, he went to that person and had it taken down. But that had been on the internet for quite a while, and at least a dozen people found it and downloaded it. Yeah, Mark is long past this. Um, you know, he has a huge amount of resources that he could use constructively, advocate for missing and abused children, children that are being trafficked, all of this. But he's not doing that. He's getting involved in this soap opera business on the internet. And that, he, well, he does, John. To be honest, he's got his BitChute channel, he's got his blog, he's got Truth Social, he's got 6 to 7 different social media sites that we keep track of that he could use to legitimately fight child trafficking, and he won't do it. I've suggested this for years. He refuses to do it. All he wants is this little soap opera. And so, and he's destroying his credibility on a daily basis with this crap. Because you know, people watch this stuff out of curiosity and they dismiss it. People openly criticize him on BitChute, um, and so on. And Mark is whining because, Mark, how you doing? I know you're in here because you just posted over on Telegram. And yes, I did. I spoke to people in the military quite a while back when this nonsense first started. And the Judge Advocate General has a file on Timmy. So Mark, yeah, I did talk to people in the military. And they think he's a joke. I went to the very person that uh, is in charge of JSOC, the media person over in St. Petersburg, and talked to them. You don't seem to understand, Mark. The joint JSOC is run right here in Florida, over at the base in St. Petersburg. It's a 2-hour drive from this house. So, yeah, I talked to him. And so, you guys can sit there and play your little games over there on BitChute, but at some point, when the rubber meets the road, you're going to have a rude awakening. So sit there and sit there and post away on Telegram, but it's going to be, all this nonsense that's being posted over on. And it's funny, they'll put the same uh, post on multiple um, social media. I don't know. But um, they claim to have spoken to military. This is the whole basis of their um, claims that they have turned all these reports in to JSOC and to these various bases. And all you have to do is call them up because, under the Freedom of Information Act, all this is available. Every damn bit of it. Well, Alex is, she's working, she's living in her house, uh, you know, and yeah, when Alex and Levi did their shows, they were good together. They make a good panel. And, it would be nice if they started up again because Alex, Levi really cares about true crime and different cases. He's not a phony like Tim Holmes said. And so does Alex. And so they would be a good mix to get back together and start their shows up. But it's up to Levi what he wants to do. Um, he decided for whatever reason that he wants to concentrate on activities off the internet. Um, yeah, and they're over there. Timmy is over there begging for $40,000 cars and living expenses and selling T-shirts and coffee cups, and it's a money game. Tim Holmseth is not out for any legitimate effort of any kind, and the people that believe in him are, they're being taken to the cleaners. So anyway, I'm just gonna make one last check with these clowns, and they don't seem to understand that anybody can talk to JSOC and to um, Judge Advocate General's offices, but ignorance is ignorance. I had to educate people last night on the circuit court system in the state of Florida because people don't seem to understand how that works. But what are you gonna do? They just make stuff up off the top of their head, and um, but this thing with the Whitey Bulger, it is just so funny, but it shows that they are unbelievably obsessed with this channel. It is beyond the pale because 16 people are watching this show right now. And why? Why pay so much attention to this channel with 16 people in it? And right now, I want to go into my account. I have 1,257 people on my subscriber list. Do you realize how small a channel is to only have 1,257 people in it? And they are that obsessed with this small channel. 15 people. Somebody just bye bye to whoever left. But the small number of people in this room, 1,257 people, I guess, because their obsession proves it. They're into all my social media. They're on Twitter. I know that they're over on my other accounts. And yeah, this is how obsessed these people are. It's crazy. And then they whine and cry about my criticizing Tim Homestead. But there are people with larger presences on not yet. She's threatened to, but um the trailer park here is on private property. And the owner of the park has told me that if he catches her on the property, he'll have her arrested, you know, on site. A deputy can be here in less than 5 minutes. Um, Now she has taken pictures of my house off the internet and posted them online. Uh, Keeps saying that she wants to see pictures of the inside of my trailer and all that. And and the thing of it is, if Tim Homestead comes into the state of Florida, he will be arrested because he's got an active warrant here out of Brevard County. So, yes, I do. Uh, and Florida has both a castle doctrine and a stand your ground law. And DeSantis has also signed a permitless uh, concealed carry law in the state of Florida. And they're eventually, DeSantis is going to pass an open carry law in the state of Florida. They ought to change the motto of the state of Florida to the gun shine state, because this is a big Second Amendment state. And so that's, you know, something else that these people need to be wary of. That, um, all they need to do is look at the Zimmerman case and understand that Florida has very good self defense laws. They have no reason to come to my house, and so they might as well stay away. Um, so, you know, simple as that. Just mind your own business, do your escrow shit, which is the dumbest term I've ever heard used in a legal in the courts, because there is no such thing. Escrow is simply a real estate term, but shows you how ignorant these people are. And just go somewhere else and do your thing. But I would strongly advise not coming near this house, um, because I have all their postings about me in a folder ready to hand the sheriff when they come with the body bag. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of people mad about that. The last thing that law enforcement wants is a bunch of Zimmermans running around with guns in their pocket being vigilantes. And that's precisely what happened. Um, the kid actually lived in the apartment complex. He was on his way home when Zimmerman shot him. Didn't give the kid a chance to explain anything, just blew him off. Said I was scared of him. And high priced lawyer got him off, just like Casey Anthony got off. I mean, it's very hard to convict somebody in this state of anything. So if somebody comes in my house and look at me cross-eyed and I decide to use the castle doctrine, I'm not going to get convicted. I won't even get charged. That's how loose the laws are in this state. You know, Florida and Texas are two of the same. If it's hard to get a conviction uh, in the state of Florida. No, that's not correct. He was just walking across. And even if it were true, Saren, that that's not a death sentence. You don't sit there and shoot somebody because he's carrying something to do what? You call the damn cops and say, there's someone here I suspect that has drug paraphernalia, whatever. Come out, check him out, and arrest his ass. I mean, Zimmerman could have followed the guy to his apartment, called the cops, gave him the number of the apartment. End of story. He didn't have to shoot him. He didn't even confront him. He just shot him. You need to read the transcripts of that case. It's amazing. People are just gun happy anymore. I believe in the Second Amendment and I believe in the right of self defense. But there are limits. Everybody's having this big argument about the AR-15. You realize you can't own a submachine gun in the United, without going through a shitload of paper, a Tommy gun like they used to use on the Untouchables. You can't have one of those. You have to go through a pile of bureaucratic stuff. You're subject to unannounced inspections. You have to carry fire paperwork, everything. People talk about, it's just, this situation's gotten overboard. That's the one thing I'd probably have an argument with half the people on here about the Second Amendment and about these AR-15s. AR-15 is a military weapon. I would not own one. For the simple reason it's for home defense, it's probably the worst thing you could have because it takes precise aim, and if you shoot an AR-15 and you miss your target and it goes into somebody else's house and kills them, you're going to go to jail. The best weapon for close quarter defense, and the one thing that has been used by law enforcement for decades, is a shotgun. It's a short range weapon. You don't have to aim it precisely. You just pick the thing up, point it in the general direction of your adversary, and pull the trigger, and he'll be turned into hamburger. It's a messy weapon, but it's the best close quarter weapon you could have. And that's what, in a burglary in a house, if someone's going to come into your house, you ain't got time to aim a gun precisely. You want to aim something in the general direction of your target, pull the trigger, and eliminate the problem. And a 16 gauge shotgun will do that. Or even a 20 gauge. Oh yeah, you gotta watch the recoil. That thing will send you to Mars if you don't brace yourself. But once you learn how to fire it properly, an Ithaca deer slayer will do the job. I mean, we use them up in the state of New York to hunt deer. You get within 30 yards or 20, 30 yards of a deer, and you shoot a Ithaca deer slayer at it. That's what they're made for. That sucker's going down. Now, I don't hunt, so I don't want to hear any of this stuff about that. I'm not a hunter. If I hunt, it's with a camera, wildlife pictures, that sort of thing. Uh, Hunting's not my thing. Yeah, you can set the panic on your transponder. Uh, I like living in Florida. I'm not a liberal. It seems to be a thing that you've either got to be a liberal or a conservative. There's no in between. I'm what is known as a moderate. You know, I don't go to the extremes on either side. I'm not concerned about the abortion issue and some of this other stuff out there. And I'm not really all that political. Now, if, if someone's going to threaten my Social Security, I'm going to vote against them. And there's certain things I support. I'm an environmentalist. I believe in climate change and all that. But um, what has happened with the political debate is, you're never going to agree with everybody. This country is roughly evenly split. But people are so divided in this country today that if you support one side, you're a pedophile. If you support the other side, you're a whack job. And it's just I'm just not that way, because there are times when you have to cross party lines to get the job done. There has to be compromise. This country has had compromises since its creation. And the situation we have now, if the Democrats in party, it's all Democrats. If it's Republican party, it's all Republicans. There's no middle ground. Uh, well, I haven't been over on Web Sleuth in a long time. Um, and it's really, if you take the politics out of true crime, it's actually better. Let's argue the cases on the merit of the case, not on politics. I try to avoid putting politics in this room. You know, I did it once and I'll never do it again, because I'm not here for politics. I'm here for um, the topic of Tim Holmseth and these other grifters. Well, thank you, John. You have a good evening. Um, I'm going to be closing down here in a few minutes. But uh, the thing with Web Sleuth, if you ignore the politics and just concentrate on discussing the individual cases, Web Sleuth is a good resource. Um, so I would still look at Web Sleuth, your choice, but ignore the politics. Just, if there's a true crime case, you're following it, you know, discuss it among the members there about the case in hand and ignore the politics. It Politics is going to eventually get into a discussion of just about anything. But what you need to do, if you're not into the politics, is simply ignore it. Well, it's hard to pin Levi down on his politics. I think he is left of center and not really what we call a progressive. He has opinions that I disagree with, but you know, he's an example of somebody you can't pin down politically, because he'll have points of view that are all over. He recently made a comment about the death penalty that would fall towards the conservative side of the political spectrum. And um, yeah, I mean, I don't know why Patricia hasn't picked up on that, or Tricia. She doesn't like to go by her full name. Uh, but a true crime forum should concentrate on true crime and keep the politics at a minimum. You're going to have politics come in, the gun control issue being a big point of that, but you don't want it to overwhelm your subject matter. You want to keep it in a balance where people can talk about the particular case in question and get the news, as you just said, and not get into this political hodgepodge. There are enough places on the internet where you can go if all you want to do is argue politics. Um, and it's a difficult thing to do. Well, him and I would agree on Canada's health care. I happen to think the United States, the medical, again, this is getting into politics, and I really don't want to go too far in it, but I agree with him on um, the healthcare systems. But um, my opinion on the death penalty is you have to be extremely careful with it. We are having a lot of death penalty cases be overturned mainly due to DNA and exonerating people that have been on death row for decades. And once you made once you make a mistake and kill somebody, there's no coming back. Dead is dead. And it's happened in some high profile cases where the person gets executed and not too long after that they say, oh, he didn't do it. But it's a little late. The guy's dead or the woman's dead. Um, I don't care where a person is politically, but to make fun of somebody that stutters is not, that's something I disagree with. Um, Stuttering is not a choice. Um, there's a good movie you might want to watch. It's called The King's Speech, and this was a true story of how the King of England had to overcome stuttering and gave one of the most important messages in the history of his country. So I would wholeheartedly disagree with anyone that makes fun of anyone that stutters. And I uh I didn't see the stream, but I heard about it, and I'm disappointed that Levi did that. Um, but nobody's perfect. He made the mistake, but it's something that I just wholeheartedly disagree with. I don't believe in people making fun of situations like that. Stuttering. Donald Trump once made fun of a guy that has a condition where he shakes his arm around. Um, but once you get past that, he does a good job of covering cases. He did a good job, like you said, of the um, Delphi case. He's got good resources, and he did a good job covering it. And this gets back into politics again. I don't know why he does that. Um, Joe Biden does not have dementia. He gets checked out every year at Camp David. This is something you do when you're president of the United States. If he had dementia, he would have to step down. This happened with Ronald Reagan. If you all remember, Ronald Reagan actually came out and said that he had dementia, but this was after he had left office. There were suspicions of that. And so, but this is an illness. These people don't ask to have dementia. And is he a Bernie fan? Probably, because I think he's more over on the progressive side of the political spectrum. Um, I think Bernie's got good intentions. I think he's just a little bit too far to the left on some things. But again, I really don't want to get into a lot of politics because it's not, my political thing is personal. I'll vote according to the way I feel I should vote. I'm not going to go out and campaign for anybody. I'm not registered with any political party. I'm not politically anybody that checks my voting record or checks my voter registration, which they have over there, they will find that I am not affiliated with any political party. So, uh, not, I have mixed feelings about it, and here's why. I think he probably did it. And what they did with that case is they took it to civil trial and found him culpable. They found him civilly liable for the murders of those two people. Now, what got me in that case is I couldn't make the timeline wasn't there. There were things in the timeline that I didn't agree with, and the prosecution blew the case by allowing OJ to try on the glove. Now, there's a couple things if you watch that incident. Number one, the glove was soaked with blood, and it had been that way for quite a while. It took a long time for this case to come to court. And when he tried the glove on, he spread his fingers. It was clear that's what he was doing. And so here he is trying to put the glove on, and he couldn't get it on. Now, if he had put it on normally, yeah, he could probably have gotten the glove on. I have worn leather gloves, and I've worn them wet. When you put on leather gloves, you don't spread your fingers. You don't do that with any glove. You put your fingers close together and you pull. Some gloves actually have a little tab on there that you pull. And so he got away with it. But it just, they never prosecuted anybody else for the case. And once the trial was over, law enforcement just dropped the whole thing. They never investigated because they knew they probably had OJ. But, basically they came up with probably the best defense team in the world for that trial. And these lawyers knew exactly what to do. And, they did blame the jury. They said it was jury nullification, but it came down to the glove. And that's what swayed the jury in the end, is the glove. So, um, I really thought I wasn't sure which way that was going to go. Um, I thought he probably did it. And if I'd been on the jury, I probably would have voted to convict and we would have had a hung jury. But where I really blew it as far as guessing who was going to get convicted was Casey Anthony. I thought that uh, Casey was going to get convicted. I thought this woman's going to go to jail. And I was completely and absolutely wrong. And so were a bunch of people. But when I looked at why the jury acquitted Casey, it was logical because the Orange County Sheriff's Department did not establish a direct connection between the death of Caylee and Casey Anthony. The medical examiner came out in court and said it's a homicide, but I cannot determine cause of death. That was the end of the whole thing. And the jury said, we can't do it. Well, you guessed right, Saren, if that's how you pronounce your name. There are some people that said she wouldn't get convicted, but I was adamant at the time. I said, she is going to jail. She did it, period. And I was totally and completely wrong. And 95% of the people in this country were wrong because they all had her convicted. And when she was acquitted, everybody exploded. There were calls for boycotts. There were threats made against the jury. The DA in the case lost his reelection bid. It was an absolute mess. And the same thing happened with the Zimmerman case. When he was acquitted, everybody went berserk. But this is what happens with a jury. You cannot predict a jury. Now we've got the case of Neely Blanchard coming up. Um, Neely Blanchard actually confessed to shooting Chris Hallett. If you go back and listen to the audio I put up, it's in there. And yet they're saying over on Telegram that she's completely innocent. But again, this has got to go before a jury. A jury is going to hear the case, it's going to see the evidence, and they're the ones that are going to determine what happens to Neely Blanchard. Now, right now, we're kind of in a precipice trying to figure out what direction this case is going to go in because there's a dispute now where the defense wants to use a plea of innocent by reason of temporary insanity, and the prosecution came back with a counter argument that says no, you can't do that. You waited too long to notify the state that you were going to do that. And so any day now, the judge is going to rule whether or not that defense is going to be allowed. Now, if by reason of temporary insanity is not allowed in the trial, then I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, what do we got here? Our friend is back. Another picture. Let's see what we got. Just popped up on my notifications. Damn, I thought we lost this person for good. Came back as, oh, this is oh, I just had a question come in. Mert, if Levi is great as you say, why did he take everything down on his channels? I can't answer that question because I don't know. I happen to believe that Levi Page is a good commentator, that he knows what he's doing. But he took his stuff down. I don't know why. You would have to ask Levi Page that. I am not a spokesman for Levi Page. I can't say why he did what he did. Well, yeah, we're getting into politics here, and I'm going to stay away from that one. But as far as the jury goes, or no, let me get back where I was talking about before with the what the defense strategy is going to be. If they cannot get the ability to plea innocent by reason of temporary insanity, where do we stand here? It's my opinion that maybe they will go for a lesser included charge, like voluntary manslaughter or something along that effect. Um, well, Nancy Grace, it comes at her coverage from the perspective of a prosecutor. Nancy Grace was a prosecutor in Georgia before she came into media. And I had a problem with Nancy Grace going back to Melinda Duckett because she browbeat Melinda Duckett in her interview to the point where Melinda Duckett committed suicide. And the problem with her doing that is Melinda Duckett is the best witness as to what happened to Trenton Duckett. You know, did she have something to do with his death? Did she give him away? We will never know because Nancy Grace put so much pressure on Melinda Duckett that she couldn't take it anymore and she killed herself. And yeah, Nancy Grace is on Fox now. But, that is the problem with this kind of aggressive reporting. You're not really reporting when you sit there and browbeat a party to a particular crime. You are getting into the area of being a biased individual who is, in her case, being a prosecutor, uh, cross examining a witness. And she's going to hit her like she would if Melinda Duckett were on the stand in a courtroom. And I disagree with that kind of reporting. You know, stay as neutral as you possibly can, give your opinion as you possibly can, but don't browbeat the parties in the case. And that's why true crime is so difficult, is because, people have a natural tendency to take sides in something. But the problem is, uh, if you get too aggressive with the parties involved in the case, you could ruin it one way or another. And I firmly believe she ruined the Trenton Duckett case by interfering with it and indirectly causing the death of a primary witness. Well, Nancy Grace does have a temper and an aggressive temper. I've seen her do this with um, guests on the panel show. She will dig into them if they disagree with her. And it's just her way of doing it. I had a discussion with Leonard Padilla about her during the Casey Anthony when they were searching for Kaylee Anthony. He says that's just her shtick, as they call it. It's the way she does things. And um, yeah, I did. They might have, because they're both lawyers. Ken Picasio is a family court lawyer. Nancy Grace is a prosecutor, which is essentially a lawyer. And so, you know, and Ken Picasio is somebody that will not back down unless she's proven wrong. She is a very strong advocate for whatever position that she takes. And this is one thing that Tim Holmseth doesn't like about her, is that she sticks up for herself. And Nancy Grace is the same way. And it's just kind of like putting two pit bulls together and they're going to fight it out. So I would not be surprised if they went at each other. But they also are good friends. And yeah, I'd be curious about that because I didn't know. I didn't see that one. Well, I'm not sure what Nancy Grace was protecting Ronald Cummings from, because the problem with this particular case is there were drugs all through it. Ronald was into drugs. Uh, Everybody in the family, except for the mother, there were a lot of people surrounding that child that were into drugs. And there is the possibility that Haley Cummings was accidentally killed because she got into drugs that were in the residence. It's just an opinion. I have no proof, but it's been a position I took. But um, I think what the situation's in with Nancy and Ron Cummings is she said that he did not murder. He did not have anything to do with the death of Haley Cummings because he was at work and he called to the house while on his way home. But the one thing that came out in that call is he said that he knew who did it and he was going to get even. It is in the call. And so if it was somebody in the drug community that he was part of, that would be the explanation. Now, Ron Cummings, in case anybody doesn't know, is back in jail again. He got out of jail, got caught dealing drugs, got put right back in jail again. He wasn't out a month and he was right back in jail. That's how bad the situation is in that community up there. But there used to be a group called the Ronettes. And the Ronettes were what they said they were. They defended Ron Cummings. There were other people that thought Ron Cummings was guilty. There were people that thought that Crystal Sheffield was guilty, and so on. There was all these speculations. Okay, I just got sent a link. I don't know how I can get this in the. Yeah, somebody just sent me the thing about Nancy Grace arguing with Kim. Now, the problem here is this is copyrighted material, so I can't bring it in the room. And I don't know how to get this off Telegram. Let me see something. All right, let me try that again. Now, any broadcast that's made by CNN is copyright. There is possibly fair use here. And the thing you got to understand, this is coming from Telegram. Jelly, you got to understand how copyright works, and you can check with YouTube. I could probably use this, but I would be restricted on what I could do with my channel. Now, a while back, I did a live stream where I used clips from various TV stations, and I got hit with a copyright. And they said that this is not a copyright strike, but you will be restricted on what you can do with that material. And yes, people have played it, but they have that same restriction. This is done all the time on YouTube. But because of the nature of this channel, I have to be very careful what I put on the air. Because this is now an example of what Jolly's talking about. This is on a channel run by PEINAY. They're the ones that put up this clip. And because of that, as far as I know, it's still up, so there's no copyright strike. But because of the way my channel is registered with YouTube, I have to be very careful. Now, what I can do is I can try and get the link in here. Because now it's going to take me a minute. When you watch, let me know who you think won the debate. I will do that. It will be my opinion. But these are two very powerful women. Nancy Grace and Kim Picasio. They're in the same profession. They know how to argue their point in a court of law, and this is the court of public opinion. So we'll see. But let me. Well, whoever Jay is. Oh, Well, yeah, I'm trying to prove a point because, I'm having a conversation with somebody from over on Telegram, but they criticize me for putting up the underwear picture. But this is what I get is this individual saying that um, it's a mortal sin for men to wear briefs. And so I said, well, here you go. Here's one of 100,000 links to men that wear briefs. And these are advertisements for underwear. So it's out there. Anybody that's ever read a Sears Roebuck catalog, you will see people in their underwear. Yeah, he didn't like Ron Cummings at all. I remember that quite distinctly. Um, and in a way, it was justified. The guy was a drug dealer. Um, and he's probably going to spend quite a long time in jail. I don't know the deposition of that case. I'm going to have to look it up. But, he wasn't out of jail enough time to do anything, and he went and got caught again. And, you know, the guy just can't control himself. But let me go to this page. Maybe I can get into. Let's see what happens in Telegram. Because if I can I can do it. Doop, 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 doop. Go up here to the link. I don't want top. I don't want Microsoft. Okay, now let me see. Share. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this into the room and you guys can watch it at your convenience. Um, and this is a debate between Kim Picasio and Nancy Grace back. And I believe that is the mother of Haley Cummings with Kim. She had represented the mother of um, Haley Cummings, and they were trying to get all the children back into the custody of the mother. And this turned out to be a serious mistake on Kim's part. This is one of these people that lawyers call uh, clients from hell. She had taken the case pro bono, which means she's not charging for it, and it turned out to be an unmitigated disaster. And so, but there is that, Jelly. I put that up there so that people can watch it. I'll watch it and I'll send you a private message about it. Uh, because I got to see what they were even arguing about. Uh, but these are two. The women are friends. You know, they're friends with each other. They respect each other, but they are strong advocates for their own position on things. That's this type A personality thing. And Kim Picasio is a formidable opponent in any debate because she will stick to her guns, and you really got to be on your toes if you're going to get anywhere with her. It's just the way it is. And you're welcome, Sharon. Um, and so that's that. Boy, I went long tonight. I was surprised here, but oh, absolutely not. She would rip him to shreds. Uh, because of and it's because of the way he acts. Um, I just don't think that Nancy would like him. He's tried to see Nancy Grace, and he's also tried to go to CNN and talk to the people up there. Now, I don't think Tim and Randy realized when they went to CNN headquarters in Atlanta that she was no longer with CNN. She wasn't with HLN. She had gone over to Fox by that time. But they went up to CNN for whatever reason. And when Astro, or this chameleon person over on Telegram, makes threats against Levi Page, she says that she's going to go to CNN. And it's not going to do any good because Nancy Grace isn't there. She's gone. So I just, that's one of those things I don't understand about, people don't want to try and interfere with somebody's line of work, but that's what's happened to me. I can't get a decent job because of what's happened here. I own the business and I have managerial experience, but I can't get a job as a manager of anything because of the background checks they do on the internet, and they don't want to risk somebody threatening to boycott their business or give bad publicity because they hired Whitey Bulger. They just aren't going to take that chance. And this happens to thousands of people every day. There's thousands of people like me out there that have had their careers destroyed by people like Tim Homeseth. And it's just, you can't sue them because they don't have any money. There's a $500,000 judgment against her, or half. Look at the judgment they got against them now, and Craig Sawyer's hasn't gotten a dime. Yeah, I had a dealership, and I think it was on Dun and Bradstreet. They had audited my business, and they had me at $3 million a year, which is a little low, but that's what they had on Dun and Bradstreet, and that's gone. And it is in part due to Tim Homeseth. Um, there was a combination of Tim Homeseth and the economy and these other idiots that basically ran my business into the ground. Well, that's the point, Sheila. Nobody's going to be interested in it. If anything, it would help them out because they'd understand how badly harassed he is. But see, the thing of it is in the media, these are people that have been through the same thing Levi has, because you're talking about usually a person that would hire somebody like Tim Homeseth to work at a media outlet would be a producer, somebody in production, a senior desk editor, or something else based on the nature of the media. And they've been through the same experience with Levi, where they've taken a position on something and they get personally attacked in social media. They're familiar with this. So that's another reason this is not going to be effective, because they are going to understand what Levi went through, and they'll do their own background check and they'll say, hell, he didn't do anything wrong. I did that in college, and that'll be the end of it. I mean, somebody falling asleep on a couch in a private residence is not a destroyer of a career. It's stupid. It makes the person advocating this to the employer look stupid. And, it's just stupid. Absolute plain stupid. It's petty, it's bullying, and it's showing that this is nothing more than pure spite. And it's childish. I mean, even a child wouldn't act this way. But it's pre-high school. It's the kind of thing that you see in high school. It's just, they're destroying themselves. If you want to sit there and draw attention to yourself with this kind of nonsense, then, you may just help the guy get a better paying job. because they are going to look at the work product. They're going to look at his educational background. They're going to look at the work that he's done in the past, and that's how they're going to judge somebody. Because it's important to know how you're going to be on camera or behind the mic or behind the desk. It's the work product you produce that they care about, not what you did in college. Oh, that's just one of a dozen of them, Sheila. There is the whitey tighty picture out there. I mean, tonight she sent me the underwear in black, the plaid underwear, the tighty whities, and I think it was the whole ensemble. And and basically all it is he's sleeping on a couch, face down. So what? I mean, who? I have slept on a couch. Um, I've been to these parties where you got 10 or 15 people in a room, and if you're not on a couch, you're on the floor because it's just you get tired and you go to sleep because these are like all night parties. When I was that age, I partied hard, and now thank God I didn't sleep in my underwear, but you know it's it's just so petty, you know, and that's all these people have. Yeah, that was the pair. But again, you're right. Who cares? It's this one individual. They won't even publish this stuff over on Telegram on PPTF because they know how ridiculous it is. The same individual that posted this stuff posted it over on Telegram, and it immediately got taken down because they don't want the liability. That could have gotten the channel taken off Telegram because it's against their community service rules. It's why you won't see this stuff on YouTube because YouTube will take it down and the account will be blocked. It's unethical. Tim Holmseth is supposed to be a professional journalist. Professional journalists don't get into this stuff because it's not newsworthy. The public is going to look at this and think, what kind of sorry individuals are these that they go around putting this kind of crap on the internet? That's nothing. And it's certainly, if it happened 20 years ago, it's not going to affect your employment because there's nothing illegal about sleeping on a couch in your underwear in a private residence. And even, you can go to any social media site and see people acting stupid, and yet nothing ever happens. They go about their lives. That's the end of it. You see it. There's thousands of them on YouTube. Guy running around waving the American flag and nothing but his underwear. I've been affiliated with media in one way or another for decades, and I've seen these people party, and they party hard. They're hard drinkers, and they just but it's journalists, truck drivers, construction workers, you name it. People are going to party. It's nothing unusual. These we're not a nation of Puritans. There's people out there that they get wild. So this whoever this person is that puts this stuff up on Telegram must have lived a sheltered life. Excuse me. I could use a drink of milk. Throat's getting dry from all this babbling. So All right, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log off because my throat's getting sore and you don't have to tolerate a coughing spell. So please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button, and if something else comes up, I'll be back because these people, they just give me material to write about. Um, Gotta love this medium. Um, you get handed stuff on a silver platter, and these people make themselves absolutely, make fools of themselves every day without fail. This Whitey Bulger thing is just, it's the funniest thing on the earth. And so until next time, have a good one. Good night, all. Bye bye. See you later.